Hey guys, come back at you. I got a little bit of JLP for you, and he is talking to a caller named Jay out of Australia, and Jay is living with his mother, and is like 30 years old, and is suffering quite a few health conditions, and Jesse kind of gives him some advice on what to do and how to kind of move beyond it, and what he needs to do as far as forgiving his mother and his father.
I noticed the same problems we're having in this country is happening around the world, and it starts in the homes, and it's due to beta fathers and angry mothers. They're setting their children up to fail, to suffer in life. I want to go back to Jay. Jay is a first-time caller out of Australia, and Jay, just near the top of the first hour there, you can podcast all the shows, and Jay was telling me that he just made a mess out of his life. His life is a mess, and his body is all messed up. He can't sleep, and just hasn't been able to sleep well the last 10 years. 30-something years old, and it's just a mess. What a mess. As Joel was saying, what a mess.
What a mess.
Jay, I want to go back to Jay. Hey, Jay.
Hey, Jesse.
Thank you for holding. I noticed that you, of all the things you said about your father, you didn't tell me one thing he did to you, which says that you haven't given me one reason that you hate your father.
Well, when you think about it, if my parents sold their house and then he stole the money and made it all disappear, then he's done that to his whole family, right?
No, Jay, you have taken other people's word about your father, and because they have turned you away from your father, you're now suffering for it. You're angry. God cannot help you in your life because you're separated from him. Satan is your daddy. And because you don't love your father, your earthly father, you would never be able to love God. And you're angry about your life and the condition that you're in. And you're suffering the way that a woman would suffer. If you notice, a lot of women suffer sickness and diseases and mental illness and all kind of madness because they have anger. And what you've done, and I don't blame you because, it wasn't your fault at the time. You were too young to understand. But your mother have caused you to turn toward her, and you've taken on her identity. And so you have the mindset of a woman, and you're suffering as a woman would suffer.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that again in my own life, and I've seen it with family members, and there's so much to be said about that. It's so often the mother. I'm not saying she's a bad person, but she's aligned with certain energies, I guess you could say, a certain frame of mind, and so turning her kids against the husband. And whether or not the husband did anything to the kids or not, and normally not. And she takes her anger, and she has anger towards her husband. And it's because of her own unhealed relationships with their own parents. But she, especially her father, but she ends up taking it out on her husband. And she ends up taking it out on her kids too, because what she ends up doing is she ends up, again, kind of turning the kids against the father by her using her anger to do so. So the kids adopt what she is angry about, and they use it as the reason that they hate their father. And that's not the reason at all. It's the mother's reason why she hates or she thinks it's the reason why she hates her husband. And therefore she convinces the kids the father is bad and you should dislike him because of this. and whatever reasons she gives. And it's really an unfortunate thing, because what it does is the father kind of loses out, obviously, because he's demonized. But the worst thing it does is it sets the kids up to live a horrible life in a lot of ways, because they're much more likely to have health problems, to go to prison, to not get married, there's just a whole list of things that ends up happening to the child, especially to a son. And I've seen that again, with personal experience in my own life. But it's I'm going to turn it back on. So
you have the woman diseases and everything.
I agree with all of that.
And so the way out, then, you need to forgive your father, so you can turn back to him, overcome your mother, turn back to your father. And it doesn't, whatever he did wrong, it doesn't mean you agree with it. You just don't hate your father, because if you hate your father, you hate God.
Yep.
And you're likely going to be like a female.
There are many more things. I'll give you one more example. Right?
Okay.
When he left and he was with his new girlfriend, my mom had 3 kids, us 2 kids, and he went to court and he declared bankruptcy, so he didn't have to legally pay any child support. So the whole time, when I was about 12 to 18, he paid no child support to any 3 of his children. So I look at that and I can understand that I hate him for that, right?
No, you shouldn't. That's still not your issue. All you're saying is that your father and mother were 2 adults that did not know how to deal with life. Your father married his mother. When he married your mother, he married his mother. Your mother married her father.
Yeah, that's something I gotta say real quick is if a man does not heal his relationship with his mother, as far as forgiving her, he doesn't need to be around her if he doesn't want to. If there's too much there, and of course she might be dead. But the fact is, he needs to heal his relationship with his mother in order for him to move on. And if not, his wife will become his mother, and he will end up marrying somebody who's like his mother.
They were both weak, and they destroyed one another. But unfortunately, your mother is so wicked, based on what you said, that she turned you against him. You should get with your father and hear his side of the story. He did not hate you. He hated your mother. But she has convinced you it was against you. And if you should drop your anger, forgive your father, go and talk to him, see what happened, and forgive him, there's a possibility that your body can be healed. But it's not going to be healed as long as Satan is your daddy. You gotta forgive and love you.
Yeah, she's taken her anger and she's giving it to the son and convincing the son that his father is wrong and that this is his anger. He is also angry towards the father. And, there, and in no way, shape, or form should a mother do that. In no way should a mother ever do that, or either parent, do that.
Your earthly father, you got to stop being angry about your condition and put up no resistance, and then you have peace of mind and you can start overcoming.
Yeah.
You have identified with your mother. Your father have not done anything to you. He's done what most men done, and they hate their mother, so they end up marrying or living with or dating their mothers, and they can't handle it. It's not against the children, it's against the father and the mother. But your mother set you up to suffer by making you think it was against her. I bet you she never told you, You know what, Jay? I was hell to deal with. Your father didn't know how to handle me. He was married to his mother. I'm just like his mother. I wouldn't reason with him. Everything he tried to do, I was against it. I didn't listen to him, and I drove him nuts. She never told you what she did.
That's one thing, man. I've noticed again in my own life that, again, the mothers will tell you every damn thing the father did wrong. Everything the father did wrong in her eyes. But nothing, not a thing that she did wrong. And, and again, in her eyes, she didn't do anything wrong. And ever. And that's something that I've come across, and especially if a woman is a very religious type woman, and I'm not down in religion at all, definitely not. But a lot of times, the one thing I've noticed is a lot of women that claim to be religious, they use their religion as a way to show that they are pure, they are morally superior, they are better than, especially if the father is not really religious or not really, involved with much, in a spiritual sense.
Yeah, as I've gotten older, I think I can start to see that, especially since I started watching your show.
Yeah. Your mother has not admitted to anything she did wrong.
Yeah. I can see how over the years she's played the victim.
Yes.
And
women are not victims. Women are victimizers. They're not victims.
Yeah, sometimes they are.
Since I was a little kid, because I'm the middle child, and I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
Not all, but most.
But my brother and sister were always off doing their own thing.
Yes.
And I was always the one, looking after mom. And
I'm sorry to hear that.
as a man, he kind of guilt trips me, like,
yes.
Oh, I'm alone, and what am I going to do, and who's going to look after me? And I've felt all my life like I have to, really make it and make good money because no one cared about mom. I have to look after her, and it's made everything so much worse, and I'm the worst off of all the children.
She made you her husband. She made you her husband out of guilt.
Yeah, well, you know what's worse?
What?
I'm living with her right now.
What?
This is my medical thing. Yeah. Yeah.
You living with the devil.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what I mean, though, Jesse. Like, I got fired from the last 3 jobs for being, sleepy and not performing, and it's just hell.
how old are you, Jay?
Everything 30.
Yeah, you need to really start seeking within. Oh, forgive your mother for screwing your life up, turning you away from your father, playing victim, causing you to hate your father. And I don't know if you're able to find your father and have a talk with him, but forgive your father. Whatever he did, he could not help him. He was married to his mama. And you need to get up and start living. You need to get away from it. I don't know your condition if you're able to take care of yourself, but you need to find a job. If you can't afford to take care of yourself, hire a nurse or somebody to come by and feed you and do whatever they do. And you need to go and live your life. Your mother is sucking the life out of you.
Yeah, I mean, that is right on right there. The mother is sucking the life out of this man, and he is not realizing this. And, it's something, again, man, that I've seen so many times in my own life, too, that, it's not saying anything bad about mothers but when the guys reach a certain age, they need to get away from the mothers, because you know, so often I know, again, man, in my own life, you know, it's like they like to kind of control their adult kids, and even to the point of trying to dictate who they date. You know, they could be 25 years old and they're still trying to dictate who they date and who they, you know, mess around with, you know, sexually. And yeah, it gets really kind of muddled, and it's one thing that this guy needs to do, to just get out.
Yeah.
And your father is not your problem. Your mother is the problem. She's the one set you up.
Seems like it.
You need to forgive her for what she's done. She couldn't help it. It was wrong. It's evil. But she hate her mother. She hate her father. She's not having a good life, and she's put that upon you. Your father didn't, based on everything you just said, your father didn't do anything to you. Nothing.
Right.
He was just too weak to deal with your mother. He didn't understand. He didn't understand the spirit of the woman and what he was dealing with.
I'm gonna cut the video right here, guys. But yeah, I mean, if you, I'm gonna paste the actual link to this video in the description below, so you can watch the full video if you want to. But yeah, I mean, that guy needs to get out of the house, and if he can't take care of himself, if he's on disability or something, you know, find nurses or at-home aides or something that you know, this take and hire. You know, if he lives in a nursing place or something, but he's got to get out of the house, because there is no way he is going to heal in any shape or form in the house. I mean, he just can't do it. He's getting a steady daily injections of poison by her, in a way. I mean, you know, not literally, but he's definitely taking on the mother. And he hates himself. He hates men. And what is he? He is a man. And he hates men. You know, and you know, it's because the mother has turned him against his father. And everything the father has done, everything, and he has become the surrogate husband. And again, man, I've seen that over and over again in my life. You know, there's so much of that's going on, and you know, with, you know, certain people, certain family members, friends. But yeah, I mean, he's got to get out. He's got to get out. But hey, guys, if you would, please like and subscribe to my channel. And yeah, leave a comment down below and let me know. All right, guys, thanks for watching.
You son of a